wailing on that pinning turret. That was a great spot because look at Carl comes in, uses that wall to do extra damage to the bot as he comes in. Is he even going to snip this? No,
he didn't even touch it a single bit.
Not.
That means that Three Bears, they have to regain control right here, and I like the fact that they have that turret there. Hongochu's going to drop that turret in the perfect position, going to be an absolute nuisance against the enemy team. Hagego ends up falling against Moaning, and are they going to regain control right here? It's 4-4. Milkrio grabs a couple of bolts and runs away.
This is so close. 4-5. Now it's going to be 5-6. But with the pull right there, he does finish him off. He dies too, but there it is. Here comes the siege bot. Is this going to be it? Is this going to be the end for Three Bears? Is Animal Champeroo going to the finals?
I think that it absolutely is. They don't have the time to get over on the enemy safe to deal any damage to it, and it looks like the Animal Champeroo
the reverse sweep
going to take
is
this
coming.
victory.
They pull off what seemed to be impossible, and they get a reverse sweep, and they're going to be walking all the way to the finals.
Look at that. We are going to be seeing Animal Champeroo against Nova in the World Championship. They just earned themselves $60,000 for their team. That's 20 grand for each player, which is crazy.
I cannot believe that we just witnessed at the very beginning of this match, it looked like the Three Bears are going to run away with it. And in turn, the Animal Champeroo, they buckled down. They found their spot, and they fought all the way back for the reverse sweep, and they win this match. What an incredible showing.
Animal Champeroo did such a good job at maintaining composure despite those first losses, and Three Bears unfortunately were not able to readapt to it. The audience here, they might be a little bit upset, but I think that you and I, we were the smart ones.
That's right. We knew this was going to happen all along, man.
We totally knew. I knew it was going to be two and two, and that they were going to win.
I really thought that we were going to look foolish there for a minute because they really they came out of the gate extremely strong, but in the end, it was such a great showing by Animal Champeroo that they absolutely 100% deserve that victory, and well played to them. Good luck in the finals.
Yeah, how is it going to end up happening against them versus Nova? This is going to be an absolutely insane matchup. Such good gameplay from both teams. Playing the best players in the world. I mean, nobody can doubt how incredibly skilled these players are. They've played against some of the best players in their own individual regions, but they're actually moving on to, and now this is the first time they're competing against each other for a chance to prove that they are number one.
Yeah, East versus West. In the chat, I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is going to win the finals? Is it going to be Nova Esports? Is it going to be Animal Champeroo? Let us know in the chat right now.
Love that chat right there. Just don't put too many emojis in there.
Who do you think was the standout player there?
Oh my goodness, that is really, really tough to say. You know, I think Hagego actually. Typically, I mean, all of the players did such a good job. They just incredibly skilled players. Their teamwork was on point. They didn't drop a beat. But Hagego, I think was a little bit of the team leader there.
You know, when they really started turning it around, he was the one who put his foot down, put it on the pedal to the metal, and led the way. And then the rest of the team followed him like, yes, we can do this. And they jumped right in behind him, and they charged all the way down 2 sets to none, and they were able to come back and win it. That was such an incredible come-from-behind victory.
Definitely the team ace. Voted unanimously by their actual team.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? Actually, you may have it here, but it isn't. He was one of the teams that played prior. They said that Hagego was the best player in this competition.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I just thought for sure that Animal Champeroo was going to have a really solid option because they had the hardest team, I would say, to play against in yesterday's semifinals. They were playing PSG, definitely a crowd favorite. A lot of people thought that PSG was going to be meeting here today. And who did PSG say that they were afraid of? Animal Champeroo.
Yeah.
And Animal Champeroo ended up beating them. They ended up beating out Three Bears. I keep on saying that. Three Bears in their home arena. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, we're going to be going down to the stage here in just a minute to hear from the winning players. Let's go.
And
now they grab the last ticket to the grand finals. Congratulations.
Congratulations. 소감 한마디 부탁드립니다.
How do you feel after the win?
Народ, так, давайте сейчас после финала 決勝って
будет
こ
еще
う実は苦手なマッ
Майнкрафт.
プでな
Так
かな
что
か
вы
勝つの
знали.
が
Не забывали.
難しい
Это
っていうのも
третий.
この自分たちも得意じゃないマップだったんですけど、なんかそれでもこう3ベアーズに勝てて良かったです。
심각한 대화를 나누고 있습니다. 네, 말씀해 주십시오. 네.
4강전 맵은
In the semi-finals,
어려운
the
맵이어가지고
maps were quite hard for us,
같다고
and
생각했는데
therefore we couldn't really secure the victory easily. But luckily, we won
초반에
against
좀
Three
약한
Bears.
모습, 후반에 강해지는 모습을
In the early phase of the series, you showed a little bit of struggling, but in the end, you do secure the victory. And why was that?
序盤は準々決勝の時に相手がすごいポコで勝ってたんですけど、そのポコをバンしてなかったっていうのがやっぱりあって、でも後半はそのポコをバンして、自分たちの展開に持ち込めたっていうのがやっぱ勝利の要因だったかなと思います。
네, 초반에는 저희 팀이 포코를 밴을
In the early phase, we didn't really ban Poco,
밴함으로써
and after banning Poco, the game seemed a lot easier for us, and then we were able to secure the win.
やっぱり、自分が一番良かったかなと思います。ゴーダツの時に8ビットで、最後3試合目生き残ったっていうのが大きくて、そこから流れが変わったと思います。
역시 뭐니뭐니 해도 자기가 제일 잘한
I feel like I was definitely the key player today.
정신 차려. 자, 이제 결승전 한 경기만 남겨.
In the finals, you only have one match left. And how determined are you going into this grand finals?
準々決勝、準決勝と苦手なマップだったんですけど、決勝は得意なマップが多いので、ノバ e スポーツを、なんか、そう、倒して最高のパフォーマンスを世界に見せつけたいと思います。
4강전 맵과 다르게 결승전 맵은
In the semifinals, the maps weren't really good for us, but in the finals, there are maps that are really good for us, so I'm going to win.
결승은 쉽게 끝날 것 같다라는 도발에
And we are going to beat Nova Esports.
세계 최초 브롤스타즈 세계 챔피언.
And we'll see who rises to be the champion in 2019 Brawl Stars World Finals. We only have the grand finals left.
경기를 좀 더 깊숙하게 알아보는 시간. 박대빈 해설과
And now we'll go on to the analysis desk.
브롤스타즈 월드 파이널 분석실 이어갑니다. 나와주세요.
Prediction right there by Animal Champion. He says, we are going to win.
That's right. This is going to be absolutely insane. The first ever Brawl Stars World Finals. This is the moment.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're here at this moment back from, a year ago when we weren't even sure this game was going to go global. And here we are. It's such an amazing event, seeing who is going to be the best team in the world.
Yeah, for those who couldn't make it out here, the event, everything just around us here is just amazing. It's to see Brawl Stars on this big of a stage is absolutely mind-boggling. It's so darn cool to see.
It really is. So we are going to see, if just a quick recap, earlier we're actually going to take a look at some of the highlights here. But earlier we had Nova Esports versus Tribe, and Nova's actually taking the victory here. And here, look at this. This is such a great play. Bonkotsu is able to get, oh no, that was not the right play. They were able to grab that victory right there.
They were doing, again, a lot of double tank and Poco, and this is where the Animal Champions started to figure it out, and they were able to turn the times around. But in Heist, there was a lot of 8-bit being played, and this was a great spot right here because Angel had done a lot of damage where he'd die, respawn, and get a ton of damage, and Milcreo adapted, realized that was about to happen again, and he was able to stop him.
Now here we've got quite a big base race going on, but Nice Bear is able to do a really good job defending against Milcreo, and that means that we've got a lot of damage just going on the save. But here, Animal Champion is able to just maintain pressure this entire time, consistently dealing damage, and that is what helped them actually gain this victory. Bonkotsu charging in there with that super, and they're able to just finish that off, and that was a very crucial match for them in order for them to continue moving on.
Yeah, it was absolutely, and then coming down back into Bounty, this was the game where almost nothing happened the entire time. There was one kill that happened this entire match, and that's what decided it all, and it all comes down to one solid super, and here it is.
Onkotsu grabbing Nice Bear there. They're able to take that kill, and unfortunately for Three Bears, they were not able to deal any more kills after that time. Cleared after the last couple of seconds.
Yeah, and then probably moving over into Siege, the last game mode, the rubber match right here, where they come down, and they started off with Frank, and it wasn't working out for him. He was over there desperately trying to hit some shots, and he just couldn't do it. They had some good control, but then Penny kept sneaking down with those turrets and dealing that extra damage to the eye. A big pull that brings them in. Even though they had so much control, they were able to defend this Siege bot right here.
This massive level 11 Siege bot. Look at this defense. Angel throwing down that super as Frank, and is able to do a little bit of damage. They did such a good job of defending, and that is what helped them secure this victory, because now they were able to push up so many bolts, build up that boss, come down with a level 12 bot, and just get that victory for them.
Yeah, that was quite the amazing show. Wonderful matchup that we haven't seen yet. Be able to turn around and get a reverse sweep. Huge props to Animal Champeroo for the win, but also to Three Bears 2, they did such a good job. And as we look at the results here, as you can see, Gem Grab and Brawl Ball were one story, and then it turned completely around once we got to Heist.
Yes, they just dominated so much. This is the first time that the team that won Gem Grab did not win the entire match, and we saw that come back in Heist. Very, very close matches. First one was a very big base race. Next one, also very, very close. The third one, though, Animal Champeroo was able to take out Three Bears safe with only 67% health remaining on theirs.
Yeah, not only is this the first team that's won it all after losing Gem Grab, but they did it in style with the reverse. It's so exciting to see something like that. But this has been such a great matchup between these two teams, and I'm excited to see the finals now. I'm gonna have to make a prediction for the finals.
Yeah, who do you think?
Wow, you know, it's really hard to choose between either team, because Nova has been so dominant. I mean, their first one they sweep, the second one they played extremely well against Stripe, but so has Animal Champeroo. They beat what some people thought was the favorite, and then they beat the hometown team with the crowd going nuts cheering against them. I'm still going to go with Nova, though. That's what I think I'm going to go with.
I think I've got it too. I've played a lot with those teams and with those players, and they're great people, and they're super skilled. Yeah, and we'll see.
The semifinals has been a wild ride, but it's just the start, because we have the finals coming up. You guys be sure to come back for that. much fun. Time to just let go now. That's what I tend to do. No instructions, but I know how. Ain't nothing gonna stop or even slow me down. I'm having way too much fun. Party's on, just keeps getting better. It feels so good, makes me want some more. Having way too much fun. Never ever wanna stop. It's only just begun. This is way too much fun. Now I get to do it my way. Making or breaking all the rules. And I feel like getting a little crazy. I'm never gonna sleep again. I can't slow down. I'm having way too much fun. Party's on, just keeps getting better. It feels so good, makes me want some more. Having way too much fun. Never ever wanna stop. It's only just begun. Stop the countdown right here. Eagle is down. Double kill. Triple. They're able to grab him, but Nightmare is not able to finish it off with that train. He cannot get past that train right there. Space is on the retreat, but they can't make it back. Looks like he does not know, but DK does have his super. He's going to get it. Is he able to make it? And a healing. Loved it. Preferably the Bringers. Hold on. The power is good. Gene goes down. Able to get that shot and take it out. He's able to get the second. That shot in the middle of that invisibility. Arsenal able to pick up those gems and run away with 300 HP. Just barely. He pulls him out. It's over. The kill over there, 9 and 7. And SSG, they have to take it down right now or their tournament hopes are over. First of all, Pop's super is holding him up, but he can't hold him up forever. No, they can't. Look at that. He barely touches the ice. Yes. The training hits him and takes him down. So, it's falls to the bottom. That's going to be a freedom from PSG. And the jump from Piper. Wow. PSG's going to hold on to their gems. They still have that 2-gem lead. Yeah. They need 2 more gems from AC to get that aggression in. He's firing away, but it's a countdown for Animals trying to put it on 50, 20, 25 gems. They're on the retreat. That ball is doing an amazing job. Just rolling around, spinning around. He didn't get the shot. What is that? He destroys it. They can still make this work, but it's got to be a great defense. Oh no, they're all going down. All 3 teams are going. This could be it. This could be the moment that AC goes to the semifinals. Nova would not be able to catch up. And look at this dominant play in the center. Mimi whacking away with the back. It's a home run for Dr. HK.
There too. Penalties tries to go in to deal a little bit of damage to Dr. M, but Dr. M heals himself up and throws him into. Look at this, Zebo to get this solo score by himself. Look at that opportunity. Yeah, Dr. HK. All 3 sneaking in on one side.
What a base race, Gyro!
And it looks like Nova's going to win this year. They've got more DPS, or maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see here. It is close, and Nova ends up taking that.
Okay, you got skills.
Oh, Brock.
Cowl.
Sorry. Gene. Oh no. No, that's a tick. Is that? Yeah. That was the easiest one. Oh my god. You ready? I'll say it's Nia. It's Pam. Yeah. Everybody plays the games down, aren't you? So how do you guys make the finals again? Well, it's a death noise, so I don't die. So.
It's been a pleasure.
Lolly. Watches.
Whoa!
Poco. What? No, can I hear a repeat? Very mechanical. Yeah. Oh, tick. Tick. Ah, yeah. Tick. Huh? So short.
That was it.
You play with it? Oh, yeah. Oh, Penny, no, Jessie, no. Oh, Jessie, right? Yeah. So they're both similar. I remember it was like that, Jessie or Penny. I remember these two.
지금 이 순간만을 기다려왔습니다. 전 세계에서 가장 강한 브롤스타즈 팀은 어디일까요? 8개의 팀이 참여해서 이제 불과 2팀만이 남아있습니다. 브롤스타즈 원 파이널 2019! 브롤스타즈 선수라면 누구나 꿈꿔왔을 이 무대의 두 주인공을 모십니다. 압도적인 경기력으로 존재감을 인증한 노바 e스포츠! 완벽한 팀워크로 상대를 뒤흔드는 강력한 한방 애니멀 점퍼!
welcome back to the Brawl Stars World Championship. I'm Kairos Time, and this is my good friend,
Woody! Howdy, y'all. Thanks very much for joining us. Months of competition. Thousands of teams. So many regions have brought their best, but only 2 remain. 6 players on the stage, duking it out for that one last trophy and the $90,000 grand prize for the champions.
That's a guaranteed $30,000 for each individual player, and these players have played for hours and hours and hours and have practiced against the best players they could find so that they could have a chance at playing for the #1 spot. And only one team can take that victory from the other.
They will be crowned the first Brawl Stars champions in the world. And you always remember your first, right, Kairos?
Absolutely. These guys are going to be known forever down in history as the first ever Brawl Stars World Final champions. And that is nothing that you can forget. Now, we've got in one corner, we have Nova
Did you just say
Esports.
the first ever champions?
No. I'm voting for Nova.
Oh, okay. We got predictions already.
That's right. This is in one corner. We've got Nova, who is known as making some of the best plays of this championship, and I'm excited to see them face off against Animal Champion, who is also absolutely insanely good.
I'm on your side with this one as well. I know we're jumping the gun a little bit on these, but why not already get into it? Nova Esports has had an amazing run through the quarters and the semis, as you just saw here on the main stage. And I voted for Animal Champion yesterday during the quarters. I thought that they would be an upset team that could do an amazing job, but when it comes down to it, only one team can advance and claim that trophy, and Nova Esports has just really torn through the competition. Not even close in some of these matches, so
You know, I've got to say,
Give the edge
though,
to them.
Animal Champion, they are so good. In fact, they played against the most voted team as the #1 champions. Each of the teams took time to actually vote who's going to be the champion if it's not you. The majority of them actually said that it's going to be PSG Esports. And PSG Esports, who did they say? They said Animal Champion.
they said the team that beats us is going to get it. And Animal Champion was that team.
That's exactly
A
right.
split over on the Korean desk, though. We were both going with Nova, but it seems that having defeated the hometown heroes, Animal Champion has earned the respect from Dankun and Taemin Park.
That's impressive here, you know, because I know that that we are here in Busan, Korea, and those Koreans, they were really rooting for Three Bears, but Animal Champion, despite losing the first 2 sets, came back for the reverse sweep and got that victory and are back here as the finalists.
The first 2 sets and the first game of the 3rd set, they had a match point opportunity multiple times, but when it came down to it, Animal Champion never gave up. They gave it their all and were rewarded very well for it. They're now on the main stage facing off against a big name in mobile esports, as we've mentioned before. They are the champions from the Clash of Clans World Finals. They're the champions in the Clash Royale World Finals. They are monsters in the competitive scene. They train so hard. Same goes for Animal Champion, but
Absolutely.
this would be their first big pickup win on a global stage.
That's exactly right. Now, they're getting ready here, and you got to look at those faces, okay? I just like to take a moment to appreciate what they're going through. It doesn't look like Animal Champion is too worried. Kills for Milk Rio, 54 and only 34 deaths throughout this entire competition. Star player 4 times. And then we also have who is known as the ace on the team, Hagego, with 59 kills and 52 deaths. Star player 5 times for this championship. And lastly, we've got Tonkotsu, 47 kills, 37 deaths. Very impressive here. Star player 4 times.
Yeah, it's a nice kill-death ratio for Kontsu, in particular at the end there. I think a lot of times the brawlers that are going up front and personal, like Daryl, the tanks out in front, wind up taking the brunt of the blow and giving a little bit more of leeway for their teammates. But as our friends from Nova said earlier in their interview, it's not about any one member, it's about how the team performs overall. We'll see Cerulean's kill-death ratio just up nearly about that 1 point, but he's picked up star player 3 times, so well done to him. Coming up next for Nova, we've got Tom. Tom loving that Poco, Brock, and El Primo pick.
He's run them several times in the quarters and the semis, and is, possibly considered the leader of this team. Spin LC, though, has really shown up well in the past couple of days and is the ace, in my opinion. Wow, 51 kills and 26 deaths, nearly a 2-to-1 ratio for him. That is going to be the guy to watch in these matches.
He is such a skilled player, and honestly, he's actually a really nice guy too. We've had some good interactions together, and he is just so kind. And that's one thing that I really love about these competitive players is that sometimes a lot of them don't let it get to their head, and that's a really good example of how you can compete in these Brawl Stars or in these esports tournaments.
Yeah, the bigger your head inflates, the more likely it's going to pop, am I right?
I've experienced that multiple times myself.
Well, it's come back on top of your shoulders.
That's right.
It's sitting where it needs to be. Now, I really appreciate, by the way, that they give them a towel to wipe their hands. I feel like I need that every 15 minutes when I'm playing Brawl Stars. My hands just get so shaky and sweaty. You get a chug of water, recuperate from all the intense playing action.
But the pressure is hot here. It's a go through here. And when you're playing these mobile games, it's very important that you're playing on a device that you're comfortable with, and it's cleaned off for you as well. So,
yeah, of course. They've got access to a mobile or a tablet. Their druthers are what they are playing on here. But as far as the format goes, they are locked in. First up is going to be Gem Grab, just the same as you've seen from the rest of the day so far. Acute Angle is going to be that map. Now, do you have any insight for us on the brawlers that are often picked here, Kairos?
Yes, absolutely. So I would not be surprised if we saw some Spike. I would not be surprised if we saw some Sandy. The previous two...
You wouldn't be surprised by anything. You're prepared.
Well, they've taken me off guard every now and then here. But Spike and Sandy would be really solid. Now, typically, we actually have seen a lot of Rosa in this competition specifically. She's so good right now. She got a recent buff, and because of that, that extra HP is just so beneficial for her. This map doesn't have as much push to benefit her.
Same with Daryl on these Gym Grab maps. I feel like his double buff recently to damage and hit points have done a lot for him. But no access to Daryl this time. Banned by Animal Champer. Expect to see them run Rosa. On the other side, Nova Esports taking a different approach here. They're going to ban Piper for this matchup.
Absolutely. Hagego last time was playing Piper. He is just so incredibly good with Piper. Just hitting shot after shot after shot. It's almost like he tells the enemy players where to move when he shoots them because he hits so many shots.
And I think it doesn't matter where they stand because
it's true.
Unless they're behind the wall, he's going to hit them.
That's absolutely right. And this map is very wide open in center, and Gem Grab is all about gaining control of that center. And so that's a very solid ban on Tribe or on Nova's side of things, 100%. Now, one thing that I will say here, just a recap of kind of how this is working out. These players are playing against each other. Best 3 out of 5 sets. Okay, they have to win 3 game modes, basically. They're going to be playing in Gem Grab, Brawl Ball, Heist, Bounty, and Siege if it goes all the way. But they can actually win this championship if they win the first 3. But for each of those game modes, they have to win a best 2 out of 3 set. So we're playing Gem Grab at least twice. We're playing Brawl Ball at least twice. We're playing Heist at least twice.
I think if this is a 3-0 or a 3-1, Nova's going to be the one to pick it up. I think that they might be a little bit favored in the earlier matches. But if it goes to a tiebreaker, 3-2, then Animal Champer was favored. They have won both of their Siege matches when it came down to the tiebreaker. They've got so much lasting power on the desk. They never give up. And if it goes all the way to Siege, they've got the experience necessary and a proven track record to go along with it.
Absolutely. And Nova is the only team in this entire competition that has 3-0 swept their competitors in the quarterfinals against Dr. HK. And if there is a team that can sweep, I think you're exactly right. It's going to be Nova. And we even saw Animal Champeru struggle a little bit against 3 Bears in their semifinals, or in their quarterfinals. Their semifinals. Semifinals. We're in the finals now. This is it. The time is now. The first ever Brawl Stars World Champions are going to be selected for the first time, and we're going to see it happen over the next hour.
And as someone who has been creating content for Brawl Stars since the pre-beta phase, Kairos, I know that this is a moment that you've been waiting for literally over a year at this point.
I was talking to Lady Kairos over there on the seat when I wasn't casting, and I said, I cannot believe where we are today. I would have never guessed that this is what I would be doing on ever in my life. And here we are, such a cool event. This is Brawl Stars history in the making, and we get to be a part of it. That's, thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Whoever
to the fans
decided
out
to
there.
choose me. I don't know why you did, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I think your hard work has a lot to do with that. But let's hear from the fans out there as well, what they think of the competition coming out between Nova and Animal Champion. Who are you rooting for as we get our brawler picks on the screen now? It's going to be Gene for both teams as well as Carl, but Rosa and Penny are going to be the swamp-ups here. We're expecting Rosa, a big heavy out in front. Interesting that Animal Champion hasn't really chosen a tank. They're instead going to go for more DPS and long-range action here, Kairos.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Animal Champion's plan is with Penny. Now, she's got that Balls of Fire star power, which is really excellent, but as far as where they place the turret, I am excited to see that. I think that it will be behind that red wall, just a little bit to the right side of the screen. But we'll actually see, though. They're trying to grab control of the center. This very first little push is very important. Sven LC actually goes in there, tries to take Tonkotsu out, but Milkrio is able to take Cerulean out, his teammate. And Hagego is able to take Tom out.
Nice gem lead here for Nova, but they're not going to be able to hold on to it long. AC grabbing onto the center of the map and pushing back Sven LC. He's got a nice little nook that he can hide in there, though, and it's hard to take him out when he's hidden. Same thing with Carl. They're going to hold fast in that push. Big attack over on the right side as Hagego gets the first kill of the game, taking down Rosa and grabbing control of the middle again. Not the first kill of the game, but the first kill of the set.
Absolutely. That Penny turret there is absolutely doing work. It is so hard for them to get in there. Enemy Carl tried to get in there, tried to take it out, but they couldn't do it. And Tom is forced to move in the same direction the entire time. And this is going to be very hard. I do not know if Nova, they're going to have to get this kill Tonkotsu right there. They're able to do so, but Hagego's right there to pick up the gems. It's almost like nothing ever happened. And Nova is in such a rough spot.
Yeah, there has just been a rotation after rotation. Animal Champion moving left, right. Every time they get a kill, they pressure even more. Nova tries to hold on to their position, but it's really looking testy right now for them. They're moving back to the end. Hold on, we got to get a kill over on Hagego, or this could be it. The countdown has started.
And it looks like Nova's got to push them back into here. They're doing the best they can. Milkrio is able to pull Sven LC, grab some more gems just to rub it in their face, and they are ready to hide behind this wall. Cerulean gets pulled by Milkrio, clear over there, and with 1 second left to go, they end up taking this first game.
Milkrio, the bodyguard, takes a dive and pulls in the enemy attack. Nicely done to him. All three brawlers still up for Animal Champion at the end of that first gem grab game. And they have finally upset our Nova team. Nova picked up a 2-1 in gem grab yesterday during the quarterfinals, and Smash Drive Gaming earlier today in gem grab at a 2-0. So the first game being a loss to them doesn't speak well about the next upcoming sets.
It really does not. And Nova Esports is very focused right there. And earlier, Animal Champion, they were looking at the camera. They were giving it thumbs up. They were smiling to the audience because they knew, hey, we've got a good advantage, at least in the heads of our competitors. However, Nova Esports has shown that even if they lose that first match, it does not get to their heads. They're ready to adapt their strategy to see what they can do to counter that. Now, I do think that Animal Champion playing that Penny was really what did it. Unfortunately, Nova was not able to get rid of that turret very often, and Penny's turret ended up hitting its shots more than I think Nova would have wanted it to.
Definitely a good bit of insight there. I am going to echo back what we heard from Milkrio and Pankatsu yesterday, that Gem Grab was their most confident game mode. None of the Nova members said that they felt very solid about it. So even though they were picking up wins, it doesn't seem that they consider it to be their point of strength. And that can really go a long way. We were talking yesterday about the mind game that goes into these matches. If you feel like you're up against an opponent who is at their best, you sometimes put too much on the line and lose it all.
Absolutely. So it looks like Nova's not going to adapt their strategy too much. However, they are going with a Brock with rocket number 4. My guess is to try and outrange Penny and take her out from a distance. Prevent her from charging up her super, her turret, and positioning. And if they are able to, then they can at least use that range, that super, to break down those walls and get rid of the turret. Very solid counter from them on their part, because typically you might want to go with the thrower, but this time they're going with that one super to break down that wall.
Two gems up in the center in a bit of a precarious position here for our Nova players up top. Tom and Sven do not want to stack up because that penny splash damage can deal a massive amount of...
Look at that.
Hakego teaming up with Pankatsu gets the first kill.
That is so important. And Bukatsu is able to charge up his super and drops down that turret. That first turret is so important. In order for Nova to really counter that, they've got to use this Brock super, and we'll see what he ends up doing. But he's actually facing off against Milkrio, and who is going to get that first shot? And Tom is able to take Milkrio out and win that 1v1 skirmish.
Nice.
Here comes the super. He throws it down, opens up the wall, gets rid of the turret, and that is going to make it a little bit trickier for Animal Champadu to actually maintain the position that they have.
But Pankatsu still has a little square tile that he can plop that turret down behind. Those great balls of fire are doing amazing work in denying aerial access to Nova. They're having to work around these big
Look at that pull from
nice
Sven, bringing Pankatsu over there. Cerulean is able to deal some damage, and they're able to grab those gems and run away, but Hakego was actually able to pick some of them up. Unfortunately for them, Tom had his super ready to drop those gems onto the ground, and now they're just a little bit closer to solidifying, or at least coming around from that upset.
A Pyrrhic victory taking out those heroes as Milkrio is able to grab the gems that still remain on the ground, and Animal Champru up again in game number 2, holding the center. It's all coming down to this. A protective pirouette protects Cerulean, and he's going to be able to swing through that right side, claiming it, but dies right afterwards to Pankatsu. But Nova have claimed the center, and it's all tied up now, Kairos.
This is really close, neck and neck. Both teams have roughly the same amount of control, with Pankatsu able to just barely grab that one gem. He just needs one more. It pops out, and Nova's going to be able to pick up this gem right here. There's a 3v2 situation, which is not good for Animal Champadu.
Pankatsu's not dead, but he's almost down for the count, and that's going to give Nova a nice lead. They're up to 10 gems, but they really want 11 to solidify that lead. They grab it. Right now they can retreat, and they'll be secure. They just need to keep this gene alive and make sure that they can't let 2 gems fall in Nova's hands. They're at 11. Not at 11 for Animal Champadu, and that's a tied upset, Kairos.
That was so incredibly close. Like I said, you had that Brock pick in order for him to charge up that super, get rid of that wall, which basically rendered Penny at a massive advantage. Not being able to use that turret and keep it alive as much as they were in that first set. I am curious to see if Animal Champadu adapts their strategy and goes with a different brawler than Penny this time. Arguably because they were expecting Nova to actually bring another counter.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we saw Rosa work so well and then just get abandoned in game number 2. What do you think is the strategy there?
This map doesn't have a lot of bushes in situations where you're going to expect enemy players to come around. It does have some good opportunities for Rosa to do well, but it's a little bit more open up in the center, and that's why I think that a lot of these pro players, or at least why they decided to step away from Rosa. I think that's a very solid option from them. If I were to make a guess as to what they decided to do, they'd probably swap out Penny for maybe a Daryl.
Oh, Daryl's banned, though.
Oh, you're absolutely right. They can't go with Daryl. There's a reason why they banned Daryl. That's right. There's a good chance then that we would see maybe some Sandy. Animal Champadu has played Sandy more than any other brawler in this entire or any other team in this competition, and they're very good with him. And Sandy would do a very good job at controlling that center there.
And there are a lot of bushes in this map, but that additional super coverage from Sandy to provide a little bit of darkness this night.
They're going to stay with it. They're going to keep that Penny, and Nova's going to keep that Brock. And I think that's smart of them to do that.
No comp swaps either way. It was a close game last time.
It was very close.
So they're both feeling confident that they can repeat and maybe improve a little bit on Animal Champidu's side.
Absolutely. Sometimes you just don't do it right the first time, but you just need a little bit of practice to see how your team is. Measure them up and see what you need to do to actually to take that victory. And this is what they're going to try to do. Tom's focusing on the center, outranging that Penny, and Cerulean's ready to try and get that kill.
Pressure.
He's not able to do it, though. Oh, he's trying again. He keeps on going. He is not ready to give up, and unfortunately for him, he ends up losing that. Tom has that super. He throws it down, gets rid of those walls. That one same tile is still up, though, allowing Pankatsu to charge up the super once he's able to drop that turret in there.
The pressure cooker is blown off its steam, and now Nova is in a dominant lead. All 5 gems in their hands, and another kill. Keep control of the mid.
This is a really tough spot for Animal Champion to come in there. Tom has a super. He lays it down there.
Gets a couple hits, but no kills with that super. They're going to keep control of the center of the map. Their gyms are kind of spread out, though, and that means that they're going to lose one over on the left side. Milcreo grabs a kill and steals the gym along with it.
Now they have that turret up there, and they're going to push up to keep Nova, but push back enough that turret's going to be able to get a ton of value, especially with Brock staying back there without his super. It's going to be very hard for them to get rid of that.
A heavy pull, and Milcreo once again is showing off his skills here. Gets another couple hits, and with that, Nova's in a lot of trouble. Cerulean's going to grab the gyms and retreat, but it is now a tied-up game, 6-6.
This is really close right here, and I actually like Animal Champadu's position. It's very difficult. Tom does have his super up now, and he does throw it down. It gets rid of the penny turret, but actually Ponkotsu goes with a more aggressive turret position, which was smart, except that Nova was able to push back up there and get rid of it. And now, whoever grabs those two gems is going to have a pretty good advantage, and it looks like Nova grabs one of them. Tom is just focusing on dealing some damage, keeping Ponkotsu pushed back. He's able to do that. Keeps that range up there.
He's a 1-on-2, and he's winning this battle. He's finally getting pushed back, but he's bought enough time for Nova to grab the 10. That's going to be a countdown, Kairos.
Cerulean has 6, and Sven LC has 4, and that means that they're able to get this. But Hagego tries to get in there and take it out, but he is not able to. And I think, unless... Well, look at the double pull right there. He's able to finish him off, restart the countdown.
Нифига себе, видели, там Джин притянул другого Джина, а тут другой Джин притянул. Короче, оба Джина притянули друг друга, прикиньте, народ. О, жесть,
gems, but it did not happen, and Nova takes this first set 2v1. What a point and a slight chance to get back in the game, but couldn't get the pull in there. The clutch defensive pull from Nova, just enough to hold on to this. It seemed like they were just about to pick up the win, and then the countdown reset with like maybe a second or two left. It was absolutely crazy. We had two Genes pulling each other, and because of that, it was like this. It was like everything came down to a slow standstill. Exactly. That's how you started Terra. That's right, but this next match is going to be course, and we'll see what Animal Champion does this last time. They actually ended up losing against 3 Bears in Gem Grab, and we'll see if they're able to adapt to this time. Now, course is a very bushy map. We're probably going to, unless we see some bans, we're probably going to see some Rosa for sure, because this is just so good for her.
Very bushy. Reminds me of some photos I've seen from the 1970s. They're kicking it back old school here on this map, and that's going to provide a lot of coverage for these two teams. Do you think that Sandy is going to be helpful at all in providing some additional coverage, or is there enough bush here that you want to maybe lean more towards something like Bo to try to sneak in and see, or Rosa to ambush?
I don't know that I would see Bo. We very well could see some Rosa for sure. It looks like we're banning Poco and we're banning Spike. So Animal Champadu doesn't want to face up against a really tanky comp, and so I don't actually know that they will play Sandy. They might, actually. Sandy's really solid. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Ems. Ems does a really good job at using that area control with her super and slowing everybody down, and we actually saw that work out really well for Nova Esports earlier. If I remember correct, I believe that it was Nova that was playing Ems earlier.
Interesting choice here to see that Poco ban from Animal Champion, but they do know that Tom is a killer with Poco in Brawl Ball, so definitely sniping him down with that ban. On the other side, though, Milcreo is known for his spike play, so Nova targeting him with that ban.
Absolutely. Spike is one of the brawlers that I think both teams are actually really incredible with Spike. We saw some great Spike plays I know of last night.
Sven was just a monster. Just dropping super after super. It seemed like he couldn't miss.
Я там подготовил для вас новое видео. Надеюсь, на канале.
That's right.
But,
you know, I don't know. We'll see. We might see some Terra. I think we're going to see some Daryl. I think we're going to see some Rosa. And maybe El Primo. The thing is with this map is it's so bushy. Okay, Terra, Daryl, and Rosa. I mean, I called out a lot of brawlers, but I was pretty right.
Well, it's Daryl and Rosa as the tanks. Terra is going to be here dropping that healing shade, trying to keep her troops up, maybe busting down a few walls at the same time. That super is going to be the #1 event to look for in this game, as it can completely turn the tides of the match. On the other side, though, we saw Ems a little bit in our previous matchup, and she's back again in the action. Great area denial from her, and it looks like we got Animal Champ, who already has a really good situation right here. Tom does not have the ammo to be able to stop this. Penalty. Oh, they're able to do it. The two of them were able to do it. Tom alone would not be enough, but now they actually wiped the enemy team, giving them a great opportunity to come in there. Spenelsi has his super ready. He's able to knock people out of the way, and Cerulean with the ball in the bush, just waiting. Terra throws down the super. Spen goes in to try and kick it in, but Ponkotu throws down his super. He stops it. Spen does the double bounce off the walls. Cerulean is ready to go in there, and he's able to get that first goal of this first Brawl Ball match.
Walks
it in. Nice job there to Ponkotu on defense, but couldn't hold off against massive pressure from Daryl, rolling straight through Ems. Now remember, when they're in the bush, you can't see them except for when they're holding the Brawl Ball. Anyone can see the target then.
Yes,
Milgrew is able to pick up the ball right here, and look at that, they're able to stop it despite him having his super up so that he could reduce all that damage. And now with the team wipe, this is a great time to regain some control. Rosa hanging out in that bush where she can easily heal up a ton of HP. Look at that kick to Spinner. Let's say play again. The kick and the roll and kicking it in is just such a great play by Nova Esports. That is something you do not see unless you are watching the Brawl Stars World Championship.
Wow. You know, Mortis used to be one of the best strikers for that very reason. He'd kick it forward and dash back to grab it again, but it seems like Daryl is the favorite among the pros. He can roll really far against that protected troops to give him a little bit more cushion for his push in, and as he sends it on in, kind of similar to Rosa, who can protect herself with her star power. I think Daryl's a little bit quicker, and Rosa is a little bit heavier on those assaults for when you have a little bit more time to set up.
Absolutely. What you saw there is you saw Nova with amazing teamwork. Basically, Rosa, like you said, keeping herself alive in the bush, kicking it into Daryl at the right time. It looked like she was kicking it to the other team, but they were not, because that Daryl was able to roll in and catch it. It's like the alley-oop of Brawl Ball.
Did you just spoil it? Is there a basketball mode coming?
I want to see it, because that would be fun. That'd be fun. Supercell, Woody's got some ideas for you. We'll send that to your way. As a side note, actually interesting, we do have a lot of the developers from Brawl Stars here watching this championship, and it's amazing to see how excited they are about this competition. They're definitely taking notes on how they can improve the Brawl Stars championship in the future. Not that it needs much improving. This is amazing. Now,
nice save there, Carson.
Yes. Well, absolutely.
But hey, we're going to be doing it back again next year. We've already heard that the Brawl Stars Worlds 2020 is coming soon. I believe they're calling it the Brawl Stars Championship. Is that right?
That's exactly right. Now, it looks like Animal Champion is going with Shelly as a great stop against Daryl. I do not blame him for doing that. And Sandy, we mentioned earlier, Animal Champion is an excellent Sandy player. Ponkotu is. And so this is going to be really intense. This is going to come down to whether or not Animal Champion is able to use that Shelly to counter Daryl and Rosa. However, they've got a tough situation. Because one Shelly versus two tanks. It's going to be tricky for them, especially with
She's a tank buster, though. She can get that attack lined up, especially her super, and freeze down those enemy brawlers. She can be a force to be reckoned with for sure. Nova picking up the first set and now game 1 of this Brawl Ball match, looking very strong. Finally, Sandy's able to get the kill there on Cerulean as he pops his super as well. Healing Winds will top off the brawlers that are inside that super radius. They're going to hold on to the ball for a little while here as they try to gain control of the mid, maybe get a kill or two before they push in for a shot.
That's exactly right. Look at that. Nagego using the super to slow the Daryl down and break down some of the walls. Milcreo ready to go in, goes up against Cerulean, but Tom with the super helps to keep him alive. Milcreo stops Spen from going in and dropping a goal, but Spen LC is ready to give it to Cerulean. They go in there for the kill. Pass up the ball for the kill. Milcreo with the super tries to stop Spen, and they're able to prevent it for just a few seconds, but is this going to be enough right here? Milcreo is not able to stop it, does not use his
Уже
super and
третий
does
гол,
not kick the ball
а
out
они
of
до сих пор не
Cerulean's hands.
забили гол.
That's what we said to watch for. That super from Terra can completely turn the tides of the match. It seemed like Cerulean was taking a ton of damage after grabbing that ball, but one super was all it took to suck all those troops in, kill the brawlers, and then deliver a goal soon after. Now Cerulean's in the bush right there. Hagego with that super is just so much to handle as that Rosa, so he was not able to do that. But Tom getting so much value from this super. Are they able to make it in here? Oh my goodness! That Elsa threats the needle! Second goal and it's in! That was insane! He knew where to pull it, and his teammate knew where to shoot it so that it did make its way in there. And that means that Nova Esports gets 2 sets. The first 2 sets, Gem Grab and Brawl Ball, but that was not enough to stop Animal Champion in the semifinals when they were facing 3 pairs. The same thing happened, and they came right back to move into the finals. So we will see what happens here. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think the Animal Champion is going to be able to come back in the reverse sweep?
I don't think so. I mean, you already heard me predict at the beginning here that if we saw a 3-0 or a 3-1, it would be Nova. I thought Nova had the lead, but wow, they are the senseis at the top of the mountain, and no one can reach up to their level of skill at this time. Still, though, Animal Champion dropped their first 2 sets in the last match, and they managed to pull back the total reverse sweep, getting 3 sets in a row. They're going to be in their element, and they're fighting for their lives. That Brawl Stars trophy right there in the center isn't going to claim itself, but Nova have got another thing coming to them next, and it's time.
That's right, this map is a very great one for throwers. You can see some of the most big brawlers are Barley and Dynamite. Also, Tick is a really good option here. I'm excited to see what they ban here. Typically, what you would see is a couple of tankier brawlers with 1 thrower. However, I've said that in the past for this competition, and people have been proving me wrong, at least against the best of the best. Looks like the bans are going to be Ems and BB. Both pretty solid options for this. Nova Esports banning BB is a very smart choice.
Alright, so Heist game mode has got 2 safes on it. The first team to bust it down is going to win. Oftentimes we've seen races take place where several brawlers stacked up on the enemy safe, blasting away as fast as they can. Nova Esports banning BB. She's one of the more popular close-range brawlers in this game mode. Her super can deal a ton of damage as it bounces back and forth over the safe. So without her, expect to see a lot more bull action. He can deal massive damage close range, and of course his super can get him right on top of the safe. I'm interested to see this Ems ban. What do you think is going through the minds of the Animal Champion players?
Yeah, so Ems is typically known as a really good tank counter if played right, except for against Daryl. So my guess is they want to, they're going to try and go with a tankier comp. I think they're going to have Daryl. I think they're also going to have Bull and possibly even El Primo.
Ooh, that would be interesting to see.
Looks like I was completely wrong.
Well, not this time.
We got Bull, we got Rico. Barley is a solid option here. And it looks like we're seeing Rico from both sides. And extra life 8-bit on Nova's side. They did such an amazing job with an 8-bit in Heist the last time when they were facing off against Tribe Gaming.
When the games are this short, that extra life can make all the difference. You only need 1 really great stab with those long-range brawlers, and you can get the damage in there. Meanwhile, those Rigos are going to be taking that speedy retreat. Rapid retreat is going to let them run away when they get low on hit points. Usually the better option when you don't need to bounce your bullets as far.
That's right. The Milk Hero taking out Cerulean is a really key play right here. Hago's able to take out Sven LC as well. This is going to be a tough spot where we've got Pokotsu as Barley keeping that 8-bit push away. And Hago starting to shred Cerulean. They're doing such a good job at playing defense first, offense second, and Pokotsu throws out that super. It does hit the safe, meaning that they are going to deal an insane amount of damage onto it, and it looks like Hagego is just falling back on the defense to try and keep Cerulean from even getting close.
There you see that run once again. Wow, that Rico's massive and dealing a ton of damage really quickly. He can jet around the map and stay out of range of Cerulean, and with that speed boost, not anymore. Cerulean gets the kill, and that's going to be massive damage on that enemy safe.
We've got damage going on both sides of the field. We have Milkrio playing as Barley dealing damage to the enemy safe, and Nova Cerulean just playing those walls, trying to get close to there. And look at that defense from Sven LC. That was absolutely phenomenal.
You can't catch up to Sven when he's running this fast. Happy feet and he makes it back in time. We even got another pull charge, but denied by a defensive pull. We are neck and neck right now. Kairos at 50% each for these two saves. This is incredibly close. Milgreo's going for the charge, but Cerulean's able to be there on the defense. Tom's attacking Ponkotsu, and Ponkotsu's just trying to survive, but he cannot run away fast enough. Tom throws down the turret, boosting their damage, and they unload an insane amount of damage on that save. Is it enough? 14 HP, and it is still alive. The Animation Blast from Nova. All three firing away, brings it down to 1 hit point. Can Bull get the last blast? All they need is one attack from either end. Sven is able to deal the damage from that distance there. They are in such a good position here as Nova has another victory. Animal Champion, they cannot lose this next one if they want to move on. The match points now for Nova Esports, up 2-0 on this set score, and the World Championship title is right before them. It's yours for the taking, guys. But remember, Animal Taproot was here before. They've been down 2 sets, and they still won the match. What can they do this time, Kairos, to turn it back? That is a really tough question, because I was going to say to stick with Farley. You know, but I think they might have to go with something a little bit tankier. They've got to do something to outrange that 8-bit. It seemed like when the walls were up, Animal Champion had a bit of an advantage. But as soon as Bull was able to tear it down, it was Rico and 8-bit blasting straight into that safe. Maybe if Animal Champion would get a quick win, if they're able to play a bit more aggressively, that could help him. What do you think? No, I think that you're absolutely right. Or outrange them. I love their Rico pick. They played such a good Rico. And it looks like they're going to stick with it. Bull, Rico, and Farley, they're trying it again. Hageko just played the best defense I've ever seen in a high scheme, but it still wasn't enough to stop this Nova team. They've got to keep this really from turning into super. That's what they've got to do. They've got to prevent it from opening up the center. That could go either way. That really could go either way. Barley is such a good option on this brawler here, on this map. He's just got to focus on staying alive and dealing that damage. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm excited for it. This could be it for Nova Esports. Is this match going to be the last between them? We're going to find out. All of your support in the chat, because this is a match point, ladies and gentlemen. Nova Esports could take it all here and now if they pick up another win. Tom sneaking in over the right side, going to take some fire from Ponkotsu. He's got that extra life though, so even if he goes down here, he'll still be able to push in a little bit. That's right, Ponkotsu is doing an excellent job at keeping them pushed back and preventing Angry from actually getting in there. Spenelsi's trying to hit some shots from Ponkotsu, dodging left and right, but it is not enough. Spenelsi's able to take him out, and Cerulean is just using that wall. He's saying, this is my home. You can't get past here. And Spenelsi with that super dealing so much damage. Is he able to take Ponkotsu out as well? He is not, but he has that rubber retreat, which is plenty for him to avoid this goal and run away. Lightning fast speed, he blinks away, and he's going to be back in the action, dealing even more damage as Bull charges in. Now we're going to start to finally see some damage from Animal Champion, blasting away at the safe. On the other side, though, the Bull is getting some good damage in there as well. Nova and AC both get about 10% off the saves. That's exactly right. Such a close matchup, but it looks like Animal Champion is actually able to maintain their foothold over here with Ponkotsu charging up, getting in here, dealing some damage to Cerulean, but Cerulean gets a little too close. He charges to breaks through the wall, is dealing some damage with that Spenelsi is adding more damage as well. And we've got brawlers going down on both safes. Is it going to be enough? It is not. I do not think so. Look how much damage we got over on Animal Champion's side. That is going to be very difficult for them to come back from, but it does only take one push. Even more shots from Nova, bring the safe down to 35%. It could just be one more charge to claim victory. Cerulean's going to ton of shots, but hold on, they're going to play defense this time, setting up that super on the backside so that they can buff up their damage. Bull makes it into the safe, but brings it down to 17, 16, 13, 12. Is it over yet, Kairos? It is not. We still have 24 seconds. They just have to defend. Nova just has to defend this one push in order for them to become the champions of the world for Brawl Stars. 15 seconds left. Here we go. They're not even going to focus on defense. They're just going on the offense. And it looks like that is going to be the victory. Nova Esports first ever Brawl Stars World Champion. Nova Esports!
все, они полностью выиграли. Они являются победителями этой битвы между командами.
Brawl Stars have the Nova name stamped on those
Чемпион
trophies. We've
команда
got
Nova.
confetti going all over the audience. Everybody is cheering them. This is such an exciting moment in the Brawl Stars history. The first ever Brawl Stars champions. And let's see what they've got. They've got a message. Their message, their Nova Esports flag draped behind that trophy. The bulk of that $250,000 prize pool going to our team from Europe. Look at their face. Spenelsi's keeping it rolling. Everybody else, this is exciting. These picks are the best in the business, Kairos. That's exactly right. Now we are actually going to hear some words from our first ever. Didn't be safe to deal any damage to it, and it looks like the animal champion is going to take this victory.
Here comes the siege bot. Is this going to be it? Is this?
Oh, good. And between the two of these brawlers, look at that pinching.
Я что, отстаю от стрима?
Solid on this map, so it's no surprise the animal champion has decided to do
Да
that. I mean, how much
ну,
passing? We got work to do.
да ну, я не отстаю.
Didn't be safe to deal any damage to it, and it looks like
Я отстаю.
the animal champion
The reverse
is
sweep
going to take
is
this
coming.
victory.
They pull off what seemed to be impossible, and they get a reverse sweep, and they're going to be
А ну-ка,
walking
народ,
all the way
проблемка
to the finals.
Да, команда Нова выиграла, вздрючила всех, так скажем.
Preparation has paid off. I fully believed in our team to pull it off. I'm over the moon.
모두 힘겹게 이렇게 준비해온 결과가 이렇게 승리로 이뤄내서 너무 기쁘다고 합니다.
красавчики просто.
세계의 통역이 나가고 있기 때문에 잠깐 기다리는 거예요. 만약에 확신이 딱 들었던 순간이 있다면 이제 우리 우승이다. 확신이 든 순간은 언제였는지.
Типа, вот, слева это турнир, команда Нова, типа.
We are going to grab that trophy in the middle. When was it?
I felt like after the second game, once we clutched up, I had nothing but eyes for the trophy. So I kept reminding my team, just keep looking at it, because that's ours.
두 번째 게임이 끝날 때쯤 계속
чемпионы, красавчики.
네, 두 번째 게임에서 이미 저 트로피가 왠지 내 마음속에 들어오는데? 라는 생각을 하셨다고 합니다. 지금껏 준비를 하고 대회를 경험하면서 가장 고마웠던 사람, 가장 생각나는 사람이 있다면?
And could you name one person very thankful for during this long journey?
I think the main person to thank is definitely Ark. He's been there for us all. He's the reason why we came together as friends and met up. So big shout out to Ark. He's done that.
팬들에게 무조건 감사드리고요. 이 팀 노바가 있게 해준 팀 원동력이었고 큰 친구가 되어줬다 합니다.
지금 앞에서 사진을 찍고 계신데 눈물을 흘리고 계세요. 네, 지금 너무 기뻐서 이 우승의 순간 너무 기뻐서 눈물을 흘리고 있는 모습이 보이고 있습니다. 이번 마지막 경기까지 하면서 베스트 선수, 이 선수 때문에 우리가 우승할 수 있지 않았나라는 선수가 있다면?
If you have to choose one star player within three of you guys, who would it be?
Не играли тупо даже сколько, два режима не играли. Награда за поимку и осада.
What makes us a great team is that we pulled together in the end. So we're all one great team.
다들 잘할 때도 있었고 못할 때도 있어서 그렇게 또 쉽게 말을 못하는 것 같습니다. 모두들 잘했던 것 같아요.
6-1, да?
지금 여기 계신 우리 스펜서가 얘기를 할 때 앞에서 감독님이 카메라 찍으면서 눈물을 흘리고 계세요. 우리 친구에게 감사의 인사를 전한다면?
Would you like to thank to your sponsor? playing as
Well, I've known Art for a very long time, and obviously that connection obviously brought us together as well. So I can't be more thankful.
우리를 이렇게 함께 뭉치게 해주고 이렇게 서포트해주는 거에 감사를 드린다고 합니다.
네. 지금 카메라 감독님 잘못 찍고 계세요. 여기 서 계신 분이에요. 카메라 들고 계신 분. 네. 네, 저분께서 눈물을 흘리시면서 우리 팀들이 우승했을 때 눈물을 닦으면서 카메라를 찍느라고 손이 부들부들 떨리고 계셨습니다. 네, 우리 수고해주신 초대 챔피언 노바 e스포츠 선수들에게 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 자, 선수들의 기쁨이 생생히 전해져 오는 인터뷰가 아니었나라는 생각이 드는데요. 브롤스타즈 월드파이널 2019 지금부터 시상식을 거행하도록 하겠습니다.
Аплодисменты.
자, 그럼 지금부터 준우승 시상을 먼저 거행하도록 하겠는데요. 시상을 특별한 분께서 이 자리에서 도와주신다고 합니다. 슈퍼셀의 프랭크 카이에버르크님을 소개합니다. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다.
Это представители игры команды Brawl Stars. Команда, короче, Brawl Stars. Это Фрэнк.
애니멀 챔프입니다. 네, 정말 끝까지 챔프로 팀입니다. 애니멀 챔프에게는 6만 달러의 상금이 수여가 되겠습니다. 자, 프랭크 카이에버르크님이 직접 보드를 전달하고 계십니다. 상금 6만 달러가 수여가 됐습니다. 다시 한번 진심으로 애니멀 챔프로 팀에게 축하의 말씀 드립니다. 고맙습니다. Thank you. 자, 이번에는 브롤스타즈 월드파이널 2019 전 세계에서 가장 강한 팀을 소개해 올리도록 하겠습니다. 대망의 우승팀은 노바 e스포츠!
Прикол. Прикольно придумали, как у этого скина на реку.
왕관의 무게를 견딜 수 있는 노바 e스포츠 팀이 등장하고 있습니다. 역시나 슈퍼셀의 프랭크 카이에버르키님께서
Ну и какие радостные. Мы выиграли.
9만 달러의 상금이 주어집니다.
И она несет кубок.
트로피와 함께 9만 달러의 상금이 수여가
И Фрэнк
되겠습니다.
вручает им кубок Brawl Stars за топ-1 2019 года. Что ж, мы можем только поздравить команду
자, 오늘 이 자리에서
Нова
시상을
за
도와주신
то, что
슈퍼셀의 프랭크 카이에버르크님 감사합니다.
Поздравляем.
전 세계 팬들이 함께 열광했던 지난 2주간의 뜨거웠던 경기 브롤스타즈 월드파이널 2019 뜨겁게 응원해주신 여러분들 그리고 선수 여러분들 덕분에 너무나도 재미있는 경기가 펼쳐지지 않았나 라는 생각이 듭니다. 챔피언의 탄생을 지켜봐주신 전세계 모든 팬들 그리고 이 자리에 함께해주신 팬 여러분들 그리고 선수 여러분들께 감사의 말씀드리면서 아직 끝난 게 아닙니다. 내일 오후 1시에는요 아주 특별한 이벤트가 기다리고 있습니다. 오후 1시에 세계 각국의 유명 인플루언서분들이 브루스타즈 인비테이셔널을 준비하고 계시거든요. 내일도 많은 참여 부탁드리고요. 다시 여러분들 만나길 기대하면서 여기서 이만 인사드리겠습니다. 지금까지 저는 허준이었고요. 노바 e스포츠 축하드리고요. 여기서 이만 인사드립니다. 고맙습니다.
Много тортика, только его нельзя есть. Я бы ржался, если бы они его увалили. Не все бы ржались, только я больше всех. Чёрт, они его не увалили. Это давно. Так. Они должны были болеть. Эй, Спайк, он вроде бы как бы самая популярная карта. Не моя любимая. Ну, как бы с легендарок. А так, моя любимая это Кальтера. Как вы знаете. Угу. Как найти? Как найти? Ковники, вы не пришли. Ладно, вы не гоните. Вы просто какашки. Это любя. Вы какашки. Красавчик. Вау. Вау. Команда. Короче, какая-то команда не могу прочитать. 312 хп. Неужели не выиграли? Здесь они не все смотрел. Да ну нафиг. Ну не буду даже красить. Загоняется Заянский. Отдай мяч, отдай мяч. Вкусно. Я смотрел, кстати, это здесь японские выиграли калаш, смотрю. Потихоньку пора уже заканчивать стрим. С одним КП летел. О, сейчас, наверное, тут где Дэрил был, да. Дэрил был. А что первый гол не показали, говнюки? А где первый гол? 14 какой-то. Чемпион. Интересно, почему 8 бит 2 руки, а он стреляет 3 бомбочки. Оле. Ждем 2020 года. Короче, до следующего этого говна, короче. Как называется говно? Короче, народ. С вами был я, Историк Батл, и это был турнир по игре, точнее, финал по игре Brawl Stars, как бы турнир. Да. Надеюсь, что вы хотя бы посмотрите после окончания стрима. И увидите сегодня этот Майнкрафт. Или завтра. Точно не знаю. Так что, народ, всем пока. А с вами был